off.
Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter Show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it right here. My name is Eric Lorta, and I'm with my co-host, Joe Habib. We got a great show for you today. You can call in 323-870-3857. Let's get started. Riyadh season on DAZN. Beeb, Queensberry versus Matchroom, 5 versus 5. Before I go any further, did you expect this outcome to be that one-sided?
No, not at all.
What is it, 9-0? Was it 9-0 or something?
No, 10-0.
And it was like with their weird scoring, they always have to do, it's not just like by matches or whatever. It's by like, you get a knockout, you get 4 point, whatever it was.
Well, you get 2 points for a knockout, 1 point for a decision. But if the captain scores a decision, he gets a double point, right? So it's two for a decision.
I don't hate that.
Yeah, or if the captain scores a knockout, he gets 4. So the captain of each team would get double points. And you know what? I was crazy because I thought this is the funny thing. On the Monday show last week, I said, I don't know why they're making Wilder captain. They should make Hrgovic captain. Guess what? It wouldn't have mattered. They both lost. They both got knocked out.
How about when he was down and they got Hrgovic and they got Wilder left? I'm like, I think those guys can both score knockouts. I'm like, I think he's still in this thing.
Yes. And you know what's funny? Hrgovic and Wilder technically aren't even really promoted by Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn had to like go into the he had to like go into like the bench to get people to be on his squad. So it was nuts.
Well, let's start here with the this was the last fight of the Riyadh season, right? Of that whole Riyadh season thing. I think this was it.
I believe so, yeah.
Now it doesn't mean they're not gonna be any more fights in Riyadh, obviously.
No, there'll be more. There's more fights. There's more cards that
like their little season or whatever
Yeah.
Riyadh season was. And I think it was like sports, like soccer and everything like that balled into this whole thing. So
but Eric, here's the thing. Not to cut you off, but this is very important to say.
Sure.
Turki Al-Sheikh is still going to be involved in these shows. But they're doing a show in Los Angeles, and he's going to be doing a show in the UK. So not everyone's getting, why do these shows on? They don't all have to be in Saudi. He's made that abundantly clear.
So what? If he's got the money. He's calling the shots. If he wants to have them all in Saudi, hey, let them be all in Saudi.
Listen,
as long as these guys fight, man. Listen, I don't want anybody. Listen, on here.
He can do them in my fucking backyard if he wants. I don't care.
Nobody better badmouth Turki Al-Sheikh on this show. I'll tell you
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. There it is. That's right. Oh, Beeb. What are we doing here? All right. Deontay Wilder versus Zhilei. Big Bang Zhang. 12 rounds. Heavyweights, Beeb. Big Bang Zhang knocks out Deontay Wilder in the 5th round. I got to be honest, man. I had Zhang winning all 4 rounds up until that knockout, man. Wilder is done. Wilder is a shot fighter. And there's no more proof of that than last night, man. That guy had 0 movement, 0 punch resistance. Wilder was 16 for 95. 16% landed. 16. Marinate on that for a minute. That's not going to get it done. He hit Zhang a couple times with some big right hands. He hit him with a big right hand, and Zhang didn't move. He didn't budge. There was a time where I thought he caught Zhang. Zhang may have been hurt, but he really wasn't, man. He was, it was all Zhang in this fight. This wasn't even, what got me though in this fight is that when you look at Wilder's footwork, it was awful. I'm not talking Wilder awful. I'm talking about worse than that. It was bad. All Zhang was doing is stepping toward that right hand, kind of smothering that power, or stepping out of the range of his right hand, stepping out of range of his right hand. That was it. And that looked like it completely confused Wilder. Yeah. I have and I don't know what Wilder's corner was saying to him. I wasn't listening in between. I
heard
don't even know.
You want to hear? You want to hear?
Yeah.
Some of the most brilliant advice from Malik Scott.
Oh,
And again, I'm not trying to
God.
dump on Malik Scott, but maybe I am. I
Yeah,
don't
he
give
sucks.
a fuck.
Yeah, he sucks as a trainer.
You were blessed to do something great. Go out and do that.
Oh, how you gonna argue
Great.
with that? Wonderful.
I was told I could do anything. I could be president of the United States one day. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here doing this beautiful podcast. I'm not complaining, but I'm still not the president of the United States.
I mean, Beeb Industries, we're doing pretty good. I mean, it's not like,
good.
I mean, we're not too shabby over here.
You may even argue this is better than being the president of the United States. With all the benefits we got.
Absolutely
right,
argue that.
Right, Lois? I mean, we have all the beautiful benefits over here.
I mean, look at you. You're not doing horror. You got a treadmill over there in your living room. It's beautiful.
I got a fresh cut. Look at this. I mean, I'm ready to go.
My man, looks good. Looks good. Is it me, or does Zhilei Zhang remind you of like this era's George Foreman? He's slow. He's got power.
A little bit.
I mean, in the sense that he's older, he's slower. He got power.
Yeah.
He's hard to get out of. I mean, he really is. He can fight a little bit,
Well, let's talk about Wilder a little bit more. Let's kind of expand upon what you said.
That he's shot. He's a shot fighter.
Yeah, the thing
clearly
too, Eric,
shot.
You can
clearly
tell
his reflexes are gone.
Well, let me unpack this. I'm gonna unpack this.
I don't want you to unpack this.
So the reflexes are gone, right? But not only that, the mentality is there. Like when you're second guessing yourself and you're sitting there, you could tell. Again, I don't want to sound insulting. The guy is gun shy at this point. He's sitting there going like this, kind of like powering out with his jab. It's kind of like a get off me jab, like.
Yeah.
And then when he did start trying to step in, that explosiveness is gone. That timing is gone. As Teddy Atlas used to say, the delivery system just isn't there, right?
Yep.
And you could tell. And even the times when he lands now, he doesn't land flush anymore because his timing is so off. On the rare occasions that he may get through, he's still not landing with 100% accuracy. Like those punches used to land, boom, like right on. Now it's like some of them they're grazing, and Zhang can see them coming. So even when they get through, he's like, as you said, he kind of rode a few of them out. None of them really hit. They weren't picture perfect right hands like we were getting in the past, right? And what is that? That comes from a combination of things. Number one, when you're gun shy, you're afraid to just let it go fluidly. Yep. That's number one. Obviously, the reflexes aren't there anymore. And the worst thing that can go on you in any athletic type competition is your timing. When your timing is off, nothing works. Nothing works.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, his legs didn't look good. I mean, he looked. Man, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't put him in there with like a 3-round guy. You know what I mean? He's done.
Yeah, he is done.
He is a completely shot fighter, man.
And here's the thing.
His reflexes were gone last night. It was sad to watch.
Yeah. And here's the thing. He had a great career, made a lot of money. And a lot of people are going to want to shit on him today, but I'm not going to be one of those people. I'm going to let him right off. I'm going to let him right off into the sunset.
Wow.
Call it a day, man.
Very disappointing.
Take care of your family.
Very disappointing, Joe.
Got to start showing people some respect, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like this new Joe Habib. I'll tell you that. I am your leader. Thank you so much. He said the Helenius KO was 100% fake.
I said it. This even proves it now. That punch didn't even land flush.
It proves it now.
This validates my opinion 100%. That was a dive.
Well, how are we going to argue with that? I mean, of course,
He did his friend a solid. They were buddies.
This is interesting. Do you think Wilder can beat Ngannou?
No.
I don't either. I wouldn't put him in there with anybody. Yeah. And, Reese Mack says Wilder was just a right hand. His mechanics were terrible. Yeah, listen, but he is scared now. He's pensive to throw punches now.
Yeah, he's gun shy right now.
He's thinking about it. And like the way he's like his stance last night, he was more turned to the side, almost not a Philly shell stance. Don't get me wrong. It was a Philly shell stance without the hands. You know what I mean? He was so sideways trying not to get hit with those shots that he has to come across now with that right. He has to turn his body and come across with that right. So it's going to be slower. It's just his delivery system is going to be slowed down. And by the way, Anybody who compared Malik Scott to Teddy Atlas, no. Malik Scott is no Teddy Atlas. All right.
All you have to ask yourself one simple question.
Teddy's a winner.
Was he better with Mark Breland or was he better with Malik Scott?
100%. I mean, you could tell when things went south. Things went south with Malik Scott. It just
Malik
did.
Scott started training him in the third Wilder fight. So he lost the third Fury fight. He lost the third Fury fight. I don't count the Helenius win because that was a dive. And then he lost to Joe Parker and he lost there. So he was technically, I consider that Helenius fight a no contest because it was a dive. So he has one no contest and 3 losses with Malik Scott.
He's got a win, Helenius. He's got 3 losses.
So on the record, he's 1-3, right? With Malik Scott.
And you know what? Wilder didn't improve at all under Malik Scott. You know what I mean? In fact, he regressed under Malik. Yeah, he regressed under Malik Scott.
Go out there and do what you were blessed to do.
What I mean,
the fuck kind of advice
does that even mean? How do I translate that into punches? You know what I mean? Like how? How does that translate into you need to stop getting hit with this right hand? You know, I don't understand. And I'll be like, I'm watching his movement last night. I'm watching Zhang's movement. And Zhang, again, he reminds me he's very plotting. It's not like he's very fleet of foot or anything like that.
I understand the comparison, Eric. I think it's an accurate comparison.
My gosh, like his footwork, like Zhang's footwork is not great.
Yeah.
And Wilder's so much faster. Used to be so much faster, not now, but like he was so much faster. Yeah, he was faster than him last night. I don't understand why he couldn't get that right hand off. He wasn't set because he was throwing two. There were no combinations.
No, I
none.
I would argue that his feet were quicker, but Zhang's deceptive with his speed a little bit.
Yeah, his
hand speed. He's got quick hands for a guy his size. I would have to say.
He's like a what was the guy? Andy Ruiz.
Yeah.
He's like, you wouldn't expect Andy Ruiz to be as fast as he is, but he is.
Yeah.
But that being said, he's still not as fast as Wilder.
I think foot speed. I think Wilder's quicker on his feet. I don't think he's that quick with his hands as he used to be. So
he looked like, why? Because he's thinking.
Yeah.
He's thinking before he throws these shots. You could see it. Because before he would let his hands go. Now he doesn't even let his hands go. He landed 16 shots.
Does Malik Scott train? I didn't even notice that he trained Gilberto Ramirez. I didn't notice it. Maybe I didn't even know he did that. Forgive me for my ignorance. I didn't know he trained Gilberto Ramirez. I didn't know that.
I don't know. Who cares?
We'll
Gilberto Ramirez is on the skids too. So,
we'll see I'll tell you this. I don't think Gilberto Ramirez, I don't care if he was being trained by the late great Emmanuel Stewart. I don't think he's going to beat a guy like what's that guy's name again? The cruiserweight there that is promoted by Matchroom. Why am I drawing a blank here? The Australian guy. The Australian guy. He just beat Breedis.
Oh, I know who you're talking about, and I can't remember. It's not Opatai.
Yeah, Jai Opatai.
Yeah.
Why did I just draw a blank there? Jesus Christ.
We're old.
Yeah, he ain't beating Jai Opatai. He ain't beating the guys like Richard Riakporhe.
No.
You know what I mean? He ain't beating those guys.
I am your leader. Thank you so much, my friend. He said the Malik Scott KO was also 100% fake.
Yes, it was. Can't believe I just forgot Jai Opatai's name.
Like 3 people come in. Opatai.
It must have been a long day.
Yeah, and I tell you, would his career would his career have been different? Would that trajectory have been different if he kept Mark Breland?
I think he would have been slightly different, but not enough to really make a difference. I think.
Yeah,
I think once he hit the wall, it was downhill from there. I'll tell you this: you can even make an argument that third Fury fight pushed him over the edge. He was already right up to the edge, but that third Fury fight probably pushed him over. And once again, Mark Breland was vindicated because He stopped it after 7, right? And this Malik Scott lets it go on for 11 rounds. And through those extra rounds, he was sustaining more and more damage. And people were even saying, like, why didn't they just stop that fight in the 9th? Why didn't they just stop that?
No
You know what I mean?
reason.
Like,
Yeah.
it was just bad. Like, he was just getting destroyed. So I have these arguments with people all the time. Oh, well, why should they have stopped the fight? Look how long the fight went. I say, okay, yeah, but that's years being taken off the guy's career.
For
you
sure.
know, when someone gets injured, right? Say they may break their nose in a fight or something that or they may tear an ACL, and then someone says, well, why did they quit? Why did they quit? Okay, because if you're fighting with a torn ACL and your knee's already like deficient, once you're fighting with a torn ACL, you can tear other things in your knee. You could also stop. You could have a greater likelihood of tearing a meniscus at the same time if you're going to continue to try to pivot on a knee with a torn ACL. So when you have a bad injury, all you're doing is making yourself get injured worse, and then you're going to do the recovery time is going to be that much longer, and you never know if you're going to be the same coming back from an injury that's really, really bad as opposed to an injury that's not as bad. So you got to make, the corner has to make these career decisions for you. Obviously, the fighter's going to want to keep going on and on, but the corner's got to look at things like, this ain't looking good. We need to pull him out now.
They're there to protect you.
Yeah. So it shouldn't be up to the fighter if he wants to continue. Sometimes people around him got to be smart enough to pull him out of a fight.
Right.
My opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, your corner's there to extend your career too. They're there to help you.
Exactly. Exactly. So what he did to Mark Breland after that, when Mark Breland was only trying to help him, I would love to ask Malik Scott, because Malik Scott's like, oh, well, we have an agreement. I'm just going to let him go out there, and he's going to go out on his shield no matter what. It's his decision. And I have to ask Malik Scott something. Well, if that was your son and you were training your son, would you have that same logic, that same mentality? Would you allow him to go on knowing that it's bad for him? You could, as someone who is supposed to be a friend, a close friend.
Yeah.
You can't. If I was training you and you said, Beeb, I don't care how hurt I am, you can never stop the fight. Guess what?
Right.
I'm not training you, Eric. I'm just not doing it. There's no way I'm going to let you go out there, and I know that you can get seriously hurt in the condition that you're in. I'm not letting the fight go on. I don't know what Robbie's kind of sadistic, so he may let it go on if he was.
Robbie would absolutely let me go.
Robbie,
on,
I know how he is. He has a cold heart, but I would not do that. And if I was training Robbie, as much as he gives me a hard time, and we have our differences, I would not do that with Robbie. I would pull Robbie out. No, if I knew he had no chance to win, I would not want him to have the punishment.
I would let him go the rounds. I would let him go the rounds.
Robbie was saying, "Oh, Triple G, I would love to. I hope Canelo like damages him, puts him in the hospital and stuff like that. I don't want to see that happen to anyone.
I'd let Robbie take the beating.
I wouldn't do it. I would not do it.
Robbie would cry out, "Dig deep, you pansy." Yeah, other than a yes man, Wilder, I don't think his career would have changed if he kept Breland. I really don't. Because
but let's ask this.
To me, he always, maybe once he got rolling, once he won that title, knocking everybody out and everything like that, I think he was to the point where you really couldn't tell him much, couldn't train him much. And I don't care who you would have brought in at that point. I don't think it would have mattered.
Do you think when he was at PBC, they matched him in such a way in order to protect him, because they knew once he stepped up, this was going to happen?
Yeah. Well, of course.
I think that's
fair. You could see how flawed this dude is.
I think that's fair. They did
a great job with him.
So
because we talked about it all the time, how flawed he was.
Yeah. So in reality, as good as he was, or whatever your opinion is on him, one thing cannot be denied. He must not have been as good as others because of the way he was matched.
Right. For sure.
Right.
For sure.
There had to have been some type of apprehension with the matchmakers that there was a reason why he wasn't going in there.
Yeah.
With the top level guys.
Yeah. And I don't care about his listen, I don't care about his opponent's records leading into Stavern. Somebody had mentioned that. It's after Stavern that you really kind of count. A lot of everybody's record are padded going in there.
Why would you have never fought Klitschko after you won that WBC belt? Why would you have never wanted to unify? And then why did you wait for Klitschko to retire? And then all of a sudden you're saying, I want to unify with Joshua. And then after Fury, you have that draw with Fury. And then you come out after that and say, oh, I was offered more money to fight Joshua, but I took the second fight with you, Fury. Why would you take that fight with Fury when you could fight Joshua for more money? And not only that, with the opportunity of becoming undisputed, and then you can have a rematch clause on top of that. And I don't understand why you would take that Fury fight instead of fighting Joshua at that time, after Joshua had just got knocked out by Ruiz, and then he just recently won his titles back. But there was something missing with Joshua. That was the time to fight Joshua, right? When there was some question marks, right?
When he won the WBC title from Stavern, that second Stavern fight, that was the time to make the Joshua fight.
Correct. And not only that, why would you have that second fight with Fury when you could have fought Joshua for more money and the opportunity to become undisputed? It just didn't make sense. It was and PBC does these things for themselves because they want to keep all the money in house for themselves. They have these beefs with other promoters, and they don't like Eddie Hearn, so we're not going to do business with Eddie Hearn, even if it benefits our fighter.
Yeah.
And you can argue they did it with Andy Ruiz, but that was more or less a cash out. They didn't expect Andy Ruiz to do what he did to Joshua, so they didn't care. Their money man was Wilder. So why are we going to allow our money man to fight Joshua and we have to split the pot? So he got bad advice. He really did. He got really bad advice.
But listen, I mean, that being said,
Still
it's not like he's got a tin can out there begging for money.
No.
And, listen, and we can talk and say, hey, he is, he's very limited on what he could do. Let's take a look at what he did with his limitations. I mean,
said that too.
This guy is a Hall of Famer. This guy is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
He'll get in.
Heavyweight champion. No question. One of the hardest hitting heavyweights ever. You can include Tyson, Shavers, whoever you want, Foreman, whoever you want. He is one of the hardest hitting guys out there.
He is.
And listen, man, I mean, like I said, he was very limited. He was very flawed. And to take that and do what he did to start boxing at such an advanced age, to go to the Olympics, win the bronze medal. Yeah, he's, listen, man, we're here to, we're not here to accentuate these guys. We all know you guys are on a different level. When you're a champion and everything like that, you guys are on a different level. So you have to find different things that make them, you know what I mean? You have to find out. You have to be the matchmaker. You have to say, okay, he's not very good at this kind of style. I think the style beats him.
Correct.
Because he's very deficient in this.
Yeah.
But as a whole boxer, man, you're talking about a first ballot Hall of Famer at the end of the day.
Yeah.
As flawed and for what he did with his gifts and everything like that, with his power and his limited ability, to me, is incredible.
I agree.
Incredible.
I agree.
Virtuoso said that's laughable. How? Is that guy a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Yeah, he gets in.
He gets in. First ballot, right?
Because of the amount
no question.
Because of the amount. Here's
don't qualify it. Don't do it. Don't qualify it. You'd say he gets in because of. No. He gets in.
Well,
stop it.
Let me just say this, Eric.
No, I'm not going to let you say
if there's 1,800, anywhere from 1,800 to 200 registered heavyweights in the world right now, right?
Yeah.
And that's generally what the amount is, right? At any given time, it's in between 1,800 and 2,000. And even if you're in the top 5 of those, or top 3 or top 4, top 5, maybe even top 10, at by that criteria, right, you're doing something good. You would argue you're somewhat at top level, right?
Yeah,
You're
absolutely.
you're not even in the top 1%. You're like in the top like 0.3%. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to even be in that position, I think people really don't look at this really look through this from a logical standpoint. It's like if you graduate, if you have like 500 students in your class or whatever, and you're in the top 5 or top 6 or 7 of those of that class, you're an exceptional student. You see what I'm saying? So if you can be it, there was a time when he was looked upon as the top one. Sometimes he was thought of as the best. Sometimes he was number 2. For a long period, he was no lower than number 3, right? So if you're at least number 2 or 3 in a pool of 1,800,
You're pretty good, right?
You got to be pretty good. If someone told me that I'm in the top 3 of 1,800, I'd be pretty damn happy with that.
I'm pretty grateful. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Now you can compare him to Fury, Joshua, whatever you want to do, right? But for a little while there, he had a good run. And listen, you're only as good as when you're not good anymore, right? So you could sit there and look at someone at their worst and say that's who they were, or you can look at the totality of someone's career. And if you look at the totality of his career, he was a solid heavyweight.
Let me pose this question to you. Let me pose this one to you. What if Jack Reese stopped that first Tyson Fury fight? When he was knocked out in that 12th round and he got up, Jack Reese looked at him. Jack Reese, by all accounts, could have stopped that fight, no?
Yeah, he could have.
He could have just waved it off and said, you know what?
Listen,
when Tyson got up at 9, he absolutely could have waved that fight off.
I am the biggest Fury fan of all time. Yeah. And if you really want to look at it, Fury is exceptionally lucky because he could have 3 stoppage losses on his record right now.
Yeah.
If he had a different referee.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because that cut, if I was reffing that
was deep. That was
I would have stopped that. I would have stopped the cut.
Wallen, yeah.
I would have probably stopped. I also said
that was a bad one.
That I would have stopped this fight with Usyk if I was in the heat of the moment in that referee's position. That's me. And then my brothers argue with me today. Oh, so you think the referee should have stopped it then? And I said, no. I said I would have stopped it. But ultimately, the referee did make the right decision because he recovered. Yeah. Oh, you're just sucking his dick. You're being no. Hindsight, when you bring it into something,
right,
ends up kind of trumping what you thought beforehand. But in hindsight, that referee did make the right decision because he recovered and he went on to finish the fight and he won a lot of people thought he won the final round, right? So he had 3 rounds to go and he won one of the 3 rounds. One judge gave him 2 of the last year. I don't think he won the 11th, but you can make an argument he won the 12th. I gave him the 12th, right? So he did recover. So again, hindsight is 20/20. The referee ended up ultimately making the right decision. But it's tough making the right decision in the heat of the moment like that.
I agree.
I'm looking at that cut in the Wallen fight, and I'm not a doctor. I'm not but I'm saying to myself, I've seen cuts much less severe than that.
Yeah.
The referee stopped. Those cuts that we saw with Hrgovic yesterday were significantly less than the cuts we saw with Fury, and the referee stopped the Hrgovic fight on cuts. So again, I have empirical data to support what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Virtuoso said Wilder can get in even though he avoided AJ, Povetkin, the Klitschko brothers, Dillian White, and Andy Ruiz. That's categorically false. If I believe AJ avoided him, I believe Wilder was chasing AJ. I believe AJ avoided him. That being said, Povetkin won. Whatchamacallit? There was like a purse bid or something like that, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And so absolutely. And that, so the Klitschko brothers, whatever, Dillian White, I don't know, but Andy Ruiz, he was scheduled to fight Andy Ruiz. They were in talks.
Yeah.
So he didn't duck those people. And if they didn't fight, I mean, they just didn't fight.
Well,
it just is what it is.
Here's the thing. I thought it was a bad decision to do the rematch for Fury when he could have fought Joshua for more money. So I didn't like that. But again, when we say fights didn't happen, there's a million and one reasons why fights don't happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a lot. And if you talk to any boxer, especially any up and coming boxer, they talk all the time about how hard it is to get a fight and about how they schedule the fight and it falls through. It's very difficult because things are constantly moving here. Yeah. And it's, listen, man, when you're coming up, it's not like you're dealing with the, the most reputable people on the planet. This is not really, it's not the UFC where, you're guaranteed this or guaranteed X amount of fights or whatever. Yeah.
I am your leader. Don't ask a question that you don't want to hear the answer to. Anyone in the Hall of Fame got legit fake fights on their resume. Resume. It's like my Publix. My Publix speech impediment.
That's
so
right.
You want to hear the answer to that? Yeah, Jake LaMotta. He admitted he took a dive against Fox. He's in the Hall of Fame.
There's any number.
So you want to look at those guys?
Yeah,
go back to those
number.
Guys in the fifth. Go back to those guys in the 50s. There was a lot of people taking dives back then.
Yeah.
And they, so
somebody had posted on here. Clarissa Shields had commented, said it was a sucker punch that Zhang hit Wilder with.
Oh,
he spun around with a right hand.
Oh my God.
That's live action right there. Number one, what's the number one rule? Protect yourself at all times. What's the other rule? Do not ever turn your back on your opponent. That's number one. You know what I mean? Yeah. That happens.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that took dives back in the day. Jake LaMotta took a dive, and he's in the Hall of Fame. So
King KO says, you're all delusional if you don't know boxing, if you think Wilder deserves to get in the Hall of Fame.
Well, again, you could say whether he deserves it or not. I can almost bet you a substantial amount of money that he will.
He's going in, son. Like it or not,
whether you want it or not, he's going in.
Right. He's going in.
He's going in.
But I'm telling you, Arturo Gatti shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. He's in. Did Deontay Wilder have a better career than Arturo Gatti? There's your bar.
Yeah.
It's it.
Yeah.
It's done. All right. So Wilder, nothing. So where does Zhang go from here? Because he's not fighting Anthony Joshua. That's reserved for the next guy. But listen. He can't fight Anthony Joshua. He's not going to rematch Wilder, obviously.
I think he should rematch Joseph Parker. He was 291. He was 290. He was 291 for that fight. He said he underestimated him. He was a little bit out of shape. Let's see this 280-pound version of Zhang.
I can't remember who I had in that fight. I don't know if I thought Zhang beat him or I don't. I thought it was close. Put it that way. I thought it was fairly close.
Well, why not rematch Parker then? If you think
there's not a lot of. I think he's looking for a big fight now, and I don't know that he gets it, man. I really don't.
All right.
Well, let's talk about our next one, man. With that win, Zhang put him over 10-0. Match Eddie Hearn got swept. How bad do you gotta feel if you're Eddie Hearn losing 10-0?
Yeah, I didn't think Craig Richards was gonna lose, man.
Man, he got hammered. 10-0, just a clean sweep. They asked Eddie Hearn, like, what do they think beforehand? And he was like, I think it could be a clean sweep for Matchroom. And
everybody was picking Matchroom to win. Everybody.
Yeah. But they got swept.
Yeah.
All right, let's start this next one. And before I do, Beeb, Daniel Dubois versus Philippe Hrgovic, 12 rounds heavyweights. Listen,
you owe Daniel Dubois an apology.
You're a complete jerk. You sat on this show and said he quits. You called him a quitter. You ran him up one side and down the other.
Don't make me pull out this text.
Stop it.
You're gonna make me do it.
I'm gonna make you do it.
I'm doing it.
What does the text say?
I'm doing it.
What is it?
You want to defame me?
Nothing to hide here.
All right, let me pull this text up.
Except that text. Don't read that one.
Let me pull this text up. Okay, let me see where we're at here.
Well, anytime, sweetheart. I mean, we got a show to do here, so you're going to pull something up. Go ahead and pull it up. How are you not ready for this?
All right, let me find this. Okay, here it is.
Oh, for Christ.
This is a text from Eric Lauder. So I can
You
get
can't
this
even
in.
see it. You can't even see it.
There it is. What's the line?
Alhamdulillah. That
What's
was
the
what you pulled
line
out?
on Dubois quitting? He texted me this before the fight. Look at my response. Please show some respect. Okay? You owe this guy an apology. This guy, when he fought Joe Joyce, his eye was virtually dislodged from the back and is pulling at the retina. And if he didn't stop,
He had a
at that
black
time,
eye.
If he didn't
He had a
stop
black
at
eye,
that time,
Beeb.
if he didn't stop at that time, he could have gone blind, and he would never have been able to continue his career and have
He had a black eye.
this beautiful victory.
That was it.
He was suffering from retinal bleeding.
Xavier.
Retinal bleeding. You owe this guy an apology.
He's not getting it.
I never gave up on this guy.
You never gave up.
Never.
Daniel Dubois beat Philippe Hrgovic by 8th round TKO. The ref stopped the fight on advice from the doctor. Hrgovic was cut up, man. He looked like he got hit by a truck. Daniel Dubois earned his shot at Anthony Joshua last night, man. He really did. And because there was talk about Zhilei Zhang, that he called out Joshua after the fight. Listen, Daniel Dubois versus Joshua, much bigger fight.
Wembley Stadium.
Wembley Stadium. Zhang's not going to, I mean, who if you're in England, come on. You got to do that, right?
Frank Warren says he wants to do a fight with Zhang in China.
Yeah, but not against one of these guys.
No, it's not going to be against one of these guys.
No.
Like I said, I like the Joe Joyce. I like the Joseph Parker rematch. I like that fight.
Joseph Parker?
Yeah. I don't mind it.
Eh.
Let me ask you this: was it a good fight with Parker? Him and Parker. Did you enjoy the fight?
Nothing that I want to see again. No.
All right. You hate rematches, huh?
I do. I hate rematches because I've already seen it. I've seen the fight.
Let me ask you this: do you want to see the Fury Usyk rematch?
No. I've already seen it.
You are killing me.
I've already seen it. Do they deserve to have a rematch? Yes.
Can I ask you an honest question?
Listen, they deserve to have a rematch. No question about it.
Do you ever go back?
Uber interested in it.
Do you ever go back and watch The Godfather?
I've never seen that movie. I don't know what you're talking about. I watched that movie like religiously. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
So again, when something is good, you don't have the urge to want to see it again.
Yeah, I do. But I've already seen that.
You already seen The Godfather, right? But that doesn't stop you. That
I
doesn't stop.
Do you ever watch 3? I never find myself watching 3. I always watch 1 and 2.
I'll be honest with you. Obviously, 3 is not as good as the other 2.
No.
But I still like it. I like, you know what I like? I like Andy Garcia. I like Andy Garcia's role in that. I thought he played it.
See, I think it was Andy Garcia's role that ruined it for me. I didn't really care for him being Sonny's. I guess it's just his attitude. He wasn't like Sonny. He was just like a punk kid. You know, like Sonny in the first Godfather, to me, he was a hothead, but he still handled business. He still, Andy Garcia just came off as just like this hothead.
Too thuggish?
Yeah.
Right.
Real disrespectful, and Sonny was never, I don't think Sonny was ever like that. He was just a hothead.
Listen, the Godfather 3 did not get a lot of good reviews, so I'm not going to argue with you if you don't like it. I mean, I'm just kind of a junkie with movies, so I kind of find it good, all the movies.
Listen, all 3 of them nominated. 2 of them won.
I still go back and watch The Wizard of Oz. I thought that was a classic.
Yeah, I didn't really care for that. I like the Flying Monkeys, though. Those were cool.
Yeah, that's good.
They were different.
Please.
Please. It's not with you. So Daniel Dubois he looked good last night. I bet on Hrgovic, and then like as the tide's turning, I go back to bet on Dubois, the live betting, they took it off the board. They took it off. Like, what are you doing? You guys took it off the board.
Daniel Dubois was dialed in. And I got to tell you, I FaceTimed him before the fight, and I let him know what you were saying about him before the fight. That really inspired. Right? Really inspired him.
Listen, man.
He's getting tired of people. He was getting tired of people like you calling him the Q word. I can't even bring myself to say that word in the same sense.
Yeah, that one.
Cut it out, please.
Because he looked like he was about to quit in the third.
Lois, when this gets posted tomorrow, I want that edited out. I want it edited out. We don't use that word here on the podcast. But the thing is this, man.
I can't wait to see him quit against Anthony Joshua.
and you're still giving up on him.
Oh,
You're still giving. What does he got to do?
do anything.
What does this man have to do to be in your favor?
I don't know. I don't know.
Let me ask you a question. Do you or do you not like this guy, Daniel Dubois?
I don't really care for him. I could take him or leave him. He seems like a nice guy. He does.
I would love for you to just meet him one time. You'd like him.
I would. I'd probably get his autograph, get a selfie with him, and just be a complete star whore.
You'd meet him. You'd meet him, right?
You should hear my partner Beeb, the way he talks about you.
Like, hey, man, you're a great fighter, man. Yeah, bro.
I knew you had it in you.
Good win. Then the next day on the show, this guy, you can't do that. Come on.
What's the matter with you?
Be a fair weather fan. Don't be a fair weather fan.
I don't mind. Dimitri Bivol versus Malik Zinad. Zinad looked good for the first couple rounds. He really did. And you know what? He was game. He came. Game. But just, man, Bivol is like a robot out there. I mean, he doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't, man. It's like that guy is so technical. So technical. He's fighting Better Beef next. And then they're talking about Opatai also.
Opatai,
up. And Benavides is the other guy they're talking about with him. I think Benavides beats him, though.
You think Benavides beats Bivol?
I think Benavides beats Bivol. Yeah, I do.
All right.
You don't think so?
I think he could. I think
you're off that train already. You're off the Benavides train already.
No, I love Benavides.
Don't terrible, get me wrong.
Man. I think it's a tough fight for both guys.
Mm-hmm.
But he may be able to beat him. Yeah, I would probably maybe edge to him. Yeah.
Yeah, I would too.
I would edge to him.
I would too. I think the power.
I think that pressure style, along with someone who's pretty quick as well. Because again,
he's so good at pressure.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, he's really good at pressure, and he's got quick feet and quick hands, and he's very durable. I don't know if Bivol can move. Like same thing with Better Beef. Like people don't understand. Like Benavides and Better Beef have a similar quality in the way they just apply this relentless pressure, and they're so strong, big, and durable. It's hard to deter them from coming forward, right?
Yeah.
So I just think that could be the Achilles heel to Bivol. Could be.
Yeah.
So
that pressure, I'll tell you what, that pressure is an equalizer, man. You fought people with pressure before. I fought, fought with people with pressure before. It's tough.
Let's just say this. If there is someone that's going to beat Bivol, it's going to have to be someone who employs that type of style.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I agree. But Bivol scored a 6-round TK over Malik Zinad. And they were really impressed with the way he fought too. Turki Al-Sheikh came in and said they're going to have him on another card or whatever. Because he took this fight like just not with much notice at all.
No, very short.
Against one of the best pound for pound guys. I mean, you've got to cut him some slack. And I thought he did pretty well.
I thought he did very well.
And I would love to see that guy again. I thought he did pretty well. Hamza Shiraz versus Austin Williams. Shiraz wins via 11th round TKO. Now he's the middleweight IBF mandatory. Was it the IBF mandatory he was up?
I think he is the IBF mandatory, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
No. I'm not sure. I think it's WBC mandatory because they're talking about him fighting.
It's one of them.
WBC mandatory. Yeah. So I'll have to go back and check that. But he is going to be somebody's mandatory.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. I like him, man. He reminds me a lot of almost like a lot of like Thomas Hearns with that length.
Yeah.
Or Diego Corrales, with that length and everything he's got on people.
Yeah.
Raymond Ford versus Nick Ball. This was a good fight, man. Nick Ball beats Raymond Ford by split decision 115-113 for Ford, 115-113 twice for Nick Ball. So there you go. And then the first bout that got it all started, Willie Hutchinson versus Craig Richards. Hutchinson wins via unanimous decision. 116-112, 117-111, and 119-109. There you go. All right, let's go to the phones here. Let's bring up Robert first. 530.
Robert
live.
Robert.
Hello, guys.
Robert.
Hey, Robert.
Didn't Mrs. Herrick pick Zhang to win when I asked Mrs. Herrick? No, but let's just be honest. When I asked Mrs. Herrick on Friday who was going to win between Wilder and Zhang, what did she say? Be honest.
She didn't say anything.
She said Zhang. She said Zhang. Stop lying, Robert. Stop lying. Be
First of
honest,
all,
Robert. Did she say Zhang?
First
Yes
of
or
all,
no?
I'm known as the truth teller, and of course, we know Wilder is now finito, done.
Robert, let me ask you a question,
harsh.
Robert.
But
Let me ask you one last question, Robert. But then I'll let you burn for a couple minutes.
Okay.
Do you think it was?
Okay.
Do you think it was fair of Eric for all these years?
From Boston.
Do you think it was fair of Eric for all these years to give up on Daniel Dubois and trash him the way he did? Do you think that was fair on his part? Did you ever give up on Daniel Dubois? Let me be just.
No, because look,
still giving up on Daniel Dubois.
I live with an eye problem. I live with an eye problem every day, and you can't play with your eyes, man.
Think Robbie knows firsthand.
Yeah.
He's an authority on this,
look,
not you.
I think Joshua will fight Dubois in September, and I think Zhang, his only option is to rematch Parker. Because he's got to settle that score. I mean, he knocked him down twice, but other than that, he didn't do much during that fight. So he's got to rematch Joseph Parker, and settle that score. I think that's his next best fight, and I think Bivol will fight Joshua.
You think he beats Joshua?
I've made up. No, he won't. But I made up my mind. The only pay-per-views I'm buying from now on has got to have Turkey Al-Sheikh involved, or I'm not buying any pay-per-views because he knows how to put on a card. Nobody else does.
Wow. Robert, this and all the other promoters.
Nobody else does. I mean, forget it. I'm not paying that money for Tank in 2 weeks. Forget that. When he gets on a Saudi Arabian card, then I'll pay attention.
Everyone in the chat, since Robbie's tapped out for pay-per-view funds, feel free to donate some money to the Robert Herrick pay-per-view fund, and this money will go to Robert Herrick. We have a GoFundMe and a PayPal.
Robert's still waiting for a check. All right, babe. We know.
All right. Robert, you got to fill out the redemption forms, and you'll get that money real quick. You'll get that money real quick. You got to fill out the redemption forms.
Here's the list of the pay-per-views I'm going to buy.
We're good.
August 3rd in LA, Saudi Arabia card. September 20th, London, Saudi Arabia card. October 12th.
Robert, this isn't a tax audit. You don't got to tell us what you're spending your money on. Don't worry about it.
Right.
You're not being audited here, Robert. You don't have to fucking qualify what you're paying on.
That's it.
Jesus Christ.
In other words, if Turkey's not involved, I'm not spending the money.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
There you go.
So, you want to get my attention? Get on one of those pay-per-views. That's what I say. Anyway, good card yesterday. I had never seen Willie Hutchinson before, and I'd never seen Gerard before, and I was very impressed with both of those guys. Very impressed.
Mr. Giancarlo. I think it's
Giancarlo.
Mr.
Giancarlo.
Thank you so much. And I'm sorry if I butchered your name, but thank you so much, my friend. We appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, my friend.
Very good Italian. Very good Italian.
Thank you, Robert.
Robert, please.
Anyway, I enjoyed that card yesterday, very much.
It was good from top
Saudi
to bottom.
Arabia knows how to put on a card.
Yeah,
I'm going to make a statement. That was probably the best card I've seen all year so far. I really enjoyed that card. I think
that was good. That was good. That rivaled like the King cards. It really did.
That was
really good.
And when you look at the odds, Robert, all the odds were like so close because there was a time when we would look at odds.
They were.
And we would see guys 15-1, 10-1, as high as 20-1. And you know what? The biggest favorite in that fight was Hrgovic, and that card I should say was Hrgovic. Yeah. He was like a minus 245, right? So
No, Joe, wasn't it Bivol when he's 30-1 over here?
Yeah, that was. But he wasn't part of the 5 though.
I'm talking about the 5v5, Robert.
Oh, okay, all right.
So
okay.
you're correct. You're correct.
No,
you're correct, Robert. But I'm talking about the 5v5, right?
Yeah.
So in that 5v5 competition,
let me
go
tell
ahead.
you something.
Go ahead. Cut me right off. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me tell you something about Philip Hrgovic. I don't know what everybody sees in him. I have never been impressed with him as a fighter.
Robert, you put Mrs. Herrick told me you put $1,000 on him.
Did you put $1,000 on him, Robert?
Mrs. Herrick told me you put $1,000 on Hrgovic. Now all of a sudden you're just mad because you lost the check money. I don't want to say what type of check money it was, but you lost the check money.
Check money.
I don't have that kind of money, dude. But first of all, no, seriously, I thought Zhang beat him, and he looked very questionable in all the fights after that. I've never understood the fascination with this dude. I'm glad he lost.
There you go.
Why are you glad he lost, Robert? What did he? Again, here we go with this cynicism, right? Rooting against people.
Hey, look.
What did he ever do to you?
Look,
what did this guy ever do to you for you to be glad he lost? So sadistic.
I tell it like it is, B.
Oh, now we're gonna cloak it. We're gonna cloak it, and I tell it like it is. Goes on a date with a woman. Hey, you look fat. Oh, telling it like it is.
What's the matter with you?
I mean, you have to have some type of. You're worse than this kid over here.
If you ever say that to a woman,
decorum that he displays every week, you're getting as worse as him.
All right, Robert. We're gonna get rolling. I'm gonna put you back on hold so you can listen.
Get rid of this guy. Get him out of here.
Stop. There's another 530 out here. 530. You're live.
Is that Mrs. Herrick?
I don't know. It could be. 530-275. I'm not going to say the rest of it, but 530-275. You're live. I wonder if it's Robert on his other line.
Robert, did you call in twice?
He'll text you in a minute and tell you.
Maybe he maybe called in twice by mistake.
All right, let's go to 516. 516. You're live.
Reek! It's Jesse Reek.
Reek! It's Reek. What's up, B? Yo, B, I actually I've been meaning to text you. I got a new job, but I got in contact with somebody. And
oh, good for you. Thank you, Jesse. We'll give you a nice little stipend.
We'll give you a stipend.
Yeah.
You gotta take care of the health, man. You work some Beeb Industries. You work some Beeb Industries.
The health.
Go ahead, Jesse.
Yeah. What you call it? Nah, yo, Beeb, I gotta give you your credit, man, because this is more of a call for you because I've been following on Twitter, and you're stepping up to Victor Conte, and I'm almost laughing at this guy's tweets and stuff of, well, Devin weighed 25 pounds heavier because he had on a jacket and socks on, and all this BS with the testing, and how he's it's such a double standards with the Canelo video and his video, like, oh well, no, Canelo's innocent because it was they sent it with the hair sample, but now the hair samples in infant stages, right? Isn't that what he said or something? Like this.
Well,
guy's
here's the new thing. He's accusing Ryan Garcia now, right? Everyone wants to talk about how crazy the statements Ryan Garcia is making, which they are, but now he's saying that Ryan Garcia potentially crushed up some Osterine tablets and put them in the supplements himself. Oh, great. Now Ryan Garcia is a chemist where he can just put such a minuscule amount in those supplements that he's going to automatically come up with a billionth of a gram. Great. Now you're suggesting Ryan Garcia is a chemist. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, you sent me that thing. They tested that Osterine, or they tested that supplement that he took, and it had Osterine in it.
Yeah, but now Conte's saying that Ryan Garcia put the Osterine in the supplement.
Conte is a drug cheat. We don't have to listen to what he says. He's a drug cheat. Nothing he says we shouldn't even lend any value to it. It really shouldn't.
Exactly. Thank you. Go ahead, Jesse. Proceed.
No, but Eric, the problem with that too is, like, if you don't address it, he's got a good amount of Twitter followers that are buying what he says and stuff.
Yeah,
so,
it's nonsense.
If people just let him go on his rant, you got boxing fans that are going to believe what he says because of, you know, his statements.
But Jesse,
they don't know
but Jesse, aren't we starting to turn people around now? Aren't people starting to ask questions now? Aren't we making a difference here at Beeb Industries? Be honest.
Yeah, 1,000%. And that's why I was like, yo, you know, I was like,
gotta tell the truth, man.
I always see when you go to him.
Try to help people here. We don't just try to make money.
But
that's right.
So what's gonna I don't know if you guys talked about it. I'm calling in now though, but what's gonna happen with this? I really don't want Ryan to lose this W, man. I'm gonna be honest.
Well,
you know, and
nothing.
In my opinion, Jesse, based off of similar situations, you had Sean O'Malley and other athletes who tested positive for the same substance under the same circumstances where it was deemed and determined to be contamination, right? They got post-dated 6-month suspensions. So in my opinion, Ryan Garcia will get a post-dated 6-month suspension. He'll be able to come back in October or November.
Doesn't matter.
So,
Ryan Garcia, everybody, you know what? Even if they reversed it, all right, let's go that route.
Which I don't even think they will. But let's
obviously,
hypothetical.
They're not going to reverse it. But if they did, who cares?
Yeah,
a world saw him get knocked out. How many casual fans watched that fight and said, "And what do you mean he lost?" Nobody's going to remember that. It's not going to nothing.
No.
And what does it do to Haney? Haney, you're talking about picograms. All right, you're talking about picograms. And Haney was knocked. I mean, he was crushed in that fight. That fight was so one-sided.
And here's the shitty thing. Here's a stupid thing about it. Even if that substance was taken at the recommended dose, that is like one of the shittiest things you can take. That's not something someone's going to be like, "Hey, man, I need to get a real performance enhancement. I got to take this to win a bout." No. So the guy had a speck of fairy dust in his system, and automatically he turned into Superman. Get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry. I'm not buying it. What else you got, Jesse?
All right. Well, thanks, man. I just wanted to get you guys' opinion on that, man. It sucks that Tim Tszyu was injured, but, you know, I thought Virgil Ortiz was going to beat him. You know, Ortiz is the real deal. So thank you guys, man. I'll be tuned in. Thanks for always taking my calls, and salute to your show. And sorry I forgot to text you. It's been hectic with my new job.
Don't worry about it. I
realize wash this car
know,
later, all right?
There's a lot on your plate, Jesse. Don't worry about it. You don't have to apologize for anything.
760, you're live.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
First of all,
Eric.
Eric. Hold up, Brian. We got to congratulate Brian's daughter. She graduated from high school with honors.
Oh, wow. Very nice.
And she's on her way to going to a beautiful college. You want to hang up on this guy every week. Finally, we're going to give him his due. He is a great father. He's a great father that takes care of his kids. Whenever he calls me, his kids are in the background.
Can I address this? He should be thanking me that his daughter got into a prestigious college and graduated with honors. Because if I didn't shut him down on here, he'd still be talking. And he would have no homework time with her.
He's right.
That's right.
He's right.
He's
right.
Backtrack, Brian. He's right. He got to cut me off.
Be a jellyfish.
That's right.
Brian, don't be a jellyfish and cowtail to this guy. Don't do it.
Don't be a jellyfish.
Hey, but look.
All right, Ryan,
Eric,
we got to get running, man.
I got to tell you, man. Look. You crazy. Eric made me laugh, man. I don't give a damn. Hey, but look. Hey, Eric, you know, I had a meeting with the president of Beeb Industries, you know what I'm saying? And we talked about Rob, man. Why don't you bring Rob back on? We agreed that you got to bring this guy back on. He gets on the damn phone and takes up all of our damn time. That's why you hang up on me. Just bring him back on, okay?
Who did you talk to at Beeb Industries that said this?
Who did you talk to at Beeb Industries that said this?
Who did you talk to that said this?
He was like, man, I can't stand it.
Oh, sure. Lois?
He said, I don't know why Eric is like this, man.
I want to cease and desist sent to this man.
It's his call.
Listen, man. Bring him back, man.
It's never happened.
All right, well,
Rob
hey,
back.
listen, man, we got to
Bring him back.
Human resources put his
What's
file.
wrong with him? He's a
They
good
put
co-host.
They put his file in the do not hire, do not rehire list.
Stop.
Brian.
Dude, that's untrue. Stop it. What's the
You
matter?
red flagged him? Oh no.
No,
that's
his file is in the
Beef,
do not rehire.
You never know
list.
what he's doing behind the scenes, man. I'll tell you that. You never know what Beef's doing behind the scenes. You know how he is.
Listen,
You
man.
can't trust him.
Look, let me tell you. Just think about it over the week. Bring this
Yeah,
guy.
I got the
back
rest of the
on. That
weekend
way
to think
you can
about
give
it,
us
okay?
more
Right.
damn time.
We
Stop
have a
hanging
lot
up
of
in my
we have a
face.
lot of things to do over here. That is not on the top of our list.
We have a lot of things to do,
Okay.
for sure.
All right, now look. Another
I'm glad he
question.
hangs up on you, but go ahead.
I got a question.
Yes.
I got a question.
We'll
man.
spit it out.
What the hell was what was Wilder saying to what was he saying to the referee when he turned around like that? He
doesn't know what he was saying when he turned around.
Question.
He got hit with that right hand, spun him around. He spun him around and started walking away like he was thumbed or something like that.
He
And
was
then
like,
next time he looks
hey,
over,
funny-
bam.
that shit was funny. Hey, look, the referee, he was saying something to the ref. The ref was like, you better turn around. This Godzilla behind you. He said, who are you?
He got laid out, son. He was so confused at that moment, man. He don't know what happened.
Oh my gosh, man.
That was insane.
That was a wrap. That's a wrap for that guy. He better leave it alone.
Did he
man.
give any
Wilder
post-fight
just needs to
interviews? Did
retire.
anybody see any
that's
post-fight
why-
interviews?
No, he didn't give any post-fight interviews. He was
Hell,
out of it.
nah,
don't
he
blame him.
he got the fuck up out of there, man. He was gone. He was like, shit. Ain't nobody saying nothing to me about.
Brian, let me ask you
He's
a
gonna
question,
pretend
Brian.
like that shit didn't happen.
Brian, let me ask you a question real quick, Brian. Let me ask you a question real
Like
quick.
we didn't have it on video.
What's up?
Let me, in your honest opinion, do you think Eric owes Daniel Dubois an apology?
No. Did he
hell
quit in the
no.
fight?
What
He quit in the fight against Joe
apologize?
Joyce.
No.
Didn't he quit in the fight against Joe Joyce?
No, he quit twice.
He quit twice.
Eric, now this
He had
is
a track record, B.
you
Stop.
weren't saying this on now the real conversation we had on the phone earlier today. You were saying Eric was wrong for calling Dubois a quitter. Now you're gonna backtrack?
I didn't say he was wrong for that.
Oh,
I never
just
said
because
that. I was like,
because he
hey.
started kissing your ass a little bit today. Now you want to flip flop.
I didn't do anything.
Now you want to flip flop.
I didn't even do anything. Like, what did I do?
Look, you was firing shots, not me. Not me.
Yeah, that's cold-blooded, B.
He had a track record. You
found
got to
out.
be honest about that. He
Yep.
quit twice. He had a track record.
Brian,
And look, and
Brian,
Eric is right
I
because
asked you.
he
I
might
asked
quit
you,
against Anthony Joshua.
Brian, I
Either he's
asked
going to
you-
quit or Anthony Joshua is going to put him out.
Brian,
Yeah, I agree.
I asked you distinctly today if that was your son in that fight, and you knew he could go blind in one of his eyes. Would you pull him out? What did you say, Brian?
Oh yeah. Steve always got to get personal. You get
Yeah.
too deep with it,
But
man.
listen,
now you got to
but-
bring
Oh,
your
I'm getting
family
too
into
deep
it.
with it now.
Yes, I'm
Now
not
we're
even,
getting
I'm
too
not even
deep
gonna put
with
my
it.
son in the ring
Listen.
to box.
His corner didn't
It's
pull him
too
out.
dangerous.
He pulled himself out. You're asking if he would have pulled, if it was his son, would he have pulled him out?
Yeah, but
Yes.
he's got a new trainer now.
He
He's got a new
pulled
trainer now.
himself
He's got a new
out,
trainer.
son.
He's got a
No,
new trainer.
his
now.
trainer didn't pull him out. He pulled himself
I know.
out. That's
why
He
what I
did
said.
have a track
That's
record.
quitting.
D. You got to be honest. This
Sorry,
man had
buddy.
a track record. He's seen it.
I mean, this is just unfair to Mr. Dubois here.
From Boston.
I'm just not happy with the way
We've
he did.
seen it, B. He had a track record. But that was a good win.
Sorry,
we can't
buddy.
take away the win that he had, but he did have a track record. We can't take that shit away
Yeah.
either. He quit
Yeah, right.
twice.
I mean, listen, it's a hard.
Right.
Listen, you don't come back from that. Roberto Duran, what's he always known for?
Yeah, that's
That
like if-
Sugar Ray
look,
Leonard no
B,
Moss
let's
fight.
look at it like this, B. B, let's look at it like this. If you want to get all deep and personal, what
You
if
weren't saying this
somebody
on the phone.
stole
You weren't
from
saying this on the
once,
phone.
right?
You weren't saying this on the phone. No, I think
Listen,
you're,
what
I
if
think you're a little
somebody
star.
stole from
You're
you
a little
once?
starstruck right now. You're a little nervous.
And then
but-
they stole from you
What's he
again.
starstruck?
You're gonna
He's
think
talking
they're
to
gonna
me.
steal again, right?
All right, Brian, listen, we've let you on here way past your cutoff time. So we got to get running here, all right? 773 Chicago, you're live.
Bang Zhang. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang.
Big Bang Zhang, baby.
Gotta start giving Zhang
Bang,
some
bang.
respect, man. You gotta give him some
Bang,
respect.
bang,
Jesus
Oh
Christ.
man, I like this guy. I like this guy. Did you
We
see him
love
at the press conference?
What did he say?
Queensboro, bang, Matchroom. He was like, I don't know what he said. You got to go back and watch it, but he's a funny character.
You
Bring it up
bring
for
up
funny,
the press
and I like the
conference.
way
Bring it up. You know,
and
you don't know what
say,
happened.
what did he say? And you say, I don't know. You got to go watch
You
it.
gotta
What's the
come
matter with
prepared.
you?
You gotta come
Come on,
prepared.
man.
He's
I
just
should cut
yelling
you off
about
just
being
for that.
Bang
I
Zhang.
should cut you off just for that. But I'm
That's
going to let
what
you
he's
go.
yelling about. He's
Go ahead.
yelling about being Bang Zhang. That's what he's yelling about. He's yelling about how his squad just smashed the other squad's promotion. He's talking about that.
We smash your
I mean,
boys.
he's not like he speaks a lot of English. It's all broken English, and
Why
so it's
why
not
does
like
he always
that, but
got to
it's
come
just the
on and
way he
like
does
just
it.
disrespect people's cultures, man? Every week this guy got to do this, man. Show the guy some respect, man. He's from China.
He's from China.
You gotta speak the Queen's English. Jesus.
Need Donald Trump in that office, boy. Ain't got
Guys-
no Trump. We ain't got nothing.
All right, Kevin, we're going to get
But I
running.
will leave you guys to my final point.
All right,
I got
go ahead.
one more
Get him out of here.
point.
Go ahead.
Get him out of here. Get him out of
The
here.
heavyweight division. I mean, where do we go from here? We got Usyk, Fury. Looks like that's going to be on. That's on the burner for next year. And then I don't know what. It's going to be a lot of stalling. Who's going to rise at the top? We got to do a Dubois versus Zhang again, or I mean, other than that, there's really no.
By the way, did you
big
guys
fight
hear
that I can think
last
of.
night? Friend of the show, Turkey Al Sheikh. Did you hear what he said, babe? Did you hear what he said?
He said a lot of things.
You
mean
heard
Your
what he said, and you
Excellency?
know exactly where I'm going with
You
this.
didn't
Crawford?
address him correct. You better come correct. His name
Crawford?
is Your Excellency.
Me and him, he's a friend of the show. He knows what's up. Crawford and Canelo.
No, I
the fight
did.
he's
Yeah.
making? I told
Yeah.
you. Who said it?
You said it. You were very
Who?
adamant.
I'm sorry,
You were
I didn't hear it. What?
You were very adamant about it.
From Boston.
That's right. Celtics going to win
Listen.
everything, Beeb. Celtics
Oh
going to
yeah,
win
the
all or
Celtics
what?
going to win. The
I
Celtics
heard
going to win
that.
it all.
Yeah, they
Is
look
that-
good, man.
All right, get him out of here, please.
Is there
All right.
validity to that America?
All right, Kevin's out. All right. You said get him out. I got to get him out.
It's killing me, man. It's killing me.
Oh,
I'm
stop.
losing brain cells listening to this.
Oh,
shit.
stop. That was a good call. What's the matter with you? All right, let's go to Jersey. 609. Think it's Shakur Stevenson?
I think it's Shakur.
Think it might be Shakur? All right, 609, you're live. I don't think this is
Hello?
Shakur. Yes. 609, you're live. Go.
How you doing? Yeah. My name's Bob.
Bob, how are you?
So
Nice to meet you,
first of all,
Bob.
I'm good. So since we talking about Jersey, man, my man Raymond Ford, it's a close fight. He won the fight, but
It was
they
close.
gave it a Nick Ball activity, but I thought Ford
Yeah.
won.
It was close, man. That was
I
a
can't
real
complain.
close
It
fight.
wasn't robbery or anything.
Yeah.
Other people say on the hot mic, basically, Ford was saying in the corner, I guess he couldn't really box and move. I guess because he had to make that weight. So he made it entertaining, stood in front of him, but he almost had him out of there in the 12th round. He had the boy hurt. He couldn't knock him down. Ball's tough, but he had Ball hurt. And if you watch the fight, you know he hurt Ball way more. He took all them punches. He shouldn't have took them, but Ball never phased him. Ball hit him with a lot of uppercuts and other stuff. He never moved. He had Ball on skates that 12th round. But give Nick Ball credit. He won. Okay. Wilder, he's a Hall of Famer. 10 defenses, some of the greatest knockouts,
Right.
and the 3 fights with Fury. It puts him in the Hall of Fame right there.
Automatically.
The 3 fights with Fury helped put him over the top. He's a Hall of Famer, period. Anybody will say you're crazy. Nobody can say you didn't enjoy them Fury fights, even the one he got beat up in. So he's definitely a Hall of Famer. And that's the bottom line. I mean, people trying to disrespect the man now. Go back and look at his best knockouts and say they aren't some of the best knockouts in boxing history.
Yep.
Okay.
Agreed, man.
What do you guys have to say about that? The knockouts he had, his
100%.
knockout real.
I've been saying it for a while, man.
We already
First
said he
ballot.
deserved. Yeah, we already said he deserves to go in first.
Absolutely, first ballot Hall of Fame.
We ain't gonna shit on
No.
someone and kick. We don't shit on people and kick them when they're down on this show.
Beeb does. I don't. Beeb's
Never.
very notorious for that, but not me.
That's slander. But go ahead.
I was just talking to a guy a half hour ago, and we was like, man, we got no heavyweight in America. Anderson, he's not the good.
He's from Ohio.
Deontay, because they knew Deontay was washed. What'd you say?
Anderson, Jared Anderson, big baby from Ohio.
Yeah, Jared Anderson.
Titletown, son.
He ain't the good.
He is the
he's
best.
Not the good.
He knocked out Tyson Fury in sparring. That's allegedly what happened. That's allegedly what happened. That's the story I hear.
Stop with that story, man, please. Killing me with that
story.
All right,
so who did they give Anderson? Now that they can't give him Wilder, who did they give Anderson?
Zhang. That's the fight to make.
They ain't giving him Zhang, man.
Zhang. He crushes Zhang.
He ain't fighting Zhang.
He crushes Zhang.
Oh, my God.
That puts him right in the title hunt, no?
Yeah, I don't think they put him in with Zhang.
They put him in with Zhang.
I don't think they put him in with Zhang. I know Zhang is slow, but
they'll probably put him in there with Wilder even after this loss.
You thought Anderson ran from the cops? When did he start running from Zhang? He can be running the whole night.
He got you there, man. He's got you there.
The cops caught up to Henderson, though, didn't they?
Yeah, I hope they put Anderson in there with someone half decent next time, man, to be honest with you.
Richard Torres Jr. versus Big Baby. No, I don't like that fight at all. I think Richard Torres needs some more seasoning.
Torres ain't fought anybody. Torres, yeah, it's all entertaining, man. He ain't fight anybody.
Yeah.
Even that last dude was undefeated, couldn't fight.
Yeah.
Torres is 2 years away from being 2 years away. As the old saying goes.
Guy's on the road tonight,
great, man. That was good.
I got some good one-liners, man. He's been practicing.
He's 2 years away from being 2 years away.
I like that one, man. I'm going to use that one.
That was awesome.
There's no patent on that.
All right, Bob, we're going to get rolling here, man. Thank you so much for the call, man. Don't be a stranger, man. You got to call back here, man. Thank you.
All
right.
I will.
All right. Let's go to 410. 410. You're live.
Hard to know.
Baltimore.
As usual. But
kneel before Eric.
Yeah.
That's right. Because I'm the king of Baltimore.
Jerry,
go ahead, please. You
Jerry,
have the floor now.
how you doing this afternoon, man? What's going on, brother? How you doing, buddy?
Well, it's hard to know where to start with the lesson with you two clowns. But before I get to Deontay Wilder, let me just say this. What kind of novice approach is it in regards to Fury Usyk? A close fight where both fighters came to fight in a good fight, and Mr. Potato Head there talking about, well, I've seen it already. How do we get to Ward Gotti? How do we get the Ward Gotti trilogy? How do we get Eric Morales and Barrera trilogies when there's
have a million rematches? I'm just saying I don't want to watch it.
And you take that novice,
I've already seen it.
Novice attitude.
We've already seen it.
Yeah, well, we already seen.
It was a clear-cut winner. It was a clear-cut winner. Saw it. You remember that Wilder? Remember the Wilder Fury fight where Fury won the fight? Where Fury won the fight, right? In that second fight, what happened? Same thing, only sooner. The fight was not razor close. Could you? Let me ask you a question. Could you give Tyson Fury that fight?
No, I had Usyk winning by the strength.
Then what are we
of the
talking
big round
about?
where he scored the knockdown. We're talking about a close fight that was a close, competitive fight between two undefeated fighters.
And you could not make a case for Tyson Fury because
we've seen Morales and Barrera.
You could not make a case
good close fight
for Tyson Fury winning that fight, right?
It was a split decision.
Could you yourself make a case for Tyson Fury winning that fight?
Well, they're going to have a rematch, whether your novice ass likes it or not. Okay, that's what they're going to do. Because
then what are you crying about for?
You don't understand.
What are you crying about? They're gonna schedule a rematch, and you're over there worried about my opinion. He doesn't want to see the fight. They're gonna make the fight with or without me. So what do you care?
That's right. Because you're just ignorant, bro. You're just ignorant.
Charlie Z, baby.
You're just a novice boxing.
Jerry.
You got your partner there because he's got a clue.
Jerry, usually I agree with you, man, but it's his dollar, man. If you don't want to buy the fight, you don't have to buy it. You can't tell
He
people what
doesn't
to
want a
It's
rematch.
not about that.
He
It's not
doesn't
about
want a
that. It's
rematch. He
about the
doesn't
bigger
think he
picture.
deserves a rematch. That's
The
all you're
guy is
crying
a
about.
cheerleader.
I think
Right,
Eric.
son.
I think Eric.
Cheerleader.
Get over it.
I think Eric is wrong, Jerry. But I can't argue with him about what he wants to
wrong.
spend his money on.
Right.
I can't tell him what to spend his money on.
Jerry
I
wants you
just
to
get
see his
aggravated
way.
with his novice cheerleading.
Because you're
It's just
emotional, son.
aggravating.
Jerry, it's his opinion.
Because you're
though, Jerry.
emotional.
Because you're a novice,
Come on,
son.
stop it.
You know what Eric
But
tells you.
Jerry, I'm gonna go
You-
back.
you're
Look,
a
we got off on the
popular
wrong foot,
opinion
Jerry.
guy.
Jerry, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. I don't want to do that.
You didn't
I
hurt
like
nothing.
you guys.
You didn't
I
hurt
know
nothing
he's
because
a
we're gonna
tough
have
guy
a
now.
rematch.
Listen, he's
even though
embarrassed
you
now.
don't
I've
think
embarrassed
it's like-
him. He's a tough guy now. Listen, it's okay. It's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Cool. Deontay Wilder. Couldn't happen to a better brother. He got just what he deserved.
A little racial slur in there.
He's
But
the
go
guy
ahead.
that walks around talking about he wants to kill somebody in the ring.
Take everything
He
you
says
say.
it with a straight
That's
face.
rough, man.
He said it several times. They asked him, "You don't really mean that?" He says, "Yeah, I mean it. I want to kill somebody in the ring." This guy has been a black eye for boxing, and he's washed up now, and that's that. But to be fair to him, for a while there, he was a dangerous puncher. And what would happen between him and AJ, I'm not going to pontificate on because the reality is Wilder was a dangerous puncher.
This is fucking word.
You read his,
Yeah,
his
that's right.
thesaurus today. His cable got canceled. So there you go. All right.
You can digest that, right?
I'm gonna try.
Pontificate? Okay.
Good luck.
He was what he was. He had 10 title defenses. He was a dangerous puncher. We don't know who he might have beat or who he might not have beat. By the time he fought Fury, he had 50 fights already. That's a heavyweight career. He made his mark. He made a lot of money, and there's no point in really looking too far beyond that. I always felt that he was a bad matchup for AJ. AJ straight up, Wilder was very dangerous with those. If you look at this fight with Zhang, the only time Wilder had any success at all is when he got wild and reckless. When he was throwing that right hand from the shoulder, trying to box and extending his arm, he wasn't having any. But the 30 seconds that he had success is when he was wild and reckless. That's his style. That's what made him dangerous. And, he just can't do it no more. He's just too far long in the tooth at this point with it to be able to do it any longer. But I always thought he was a bad style matchup for AJ. I think AJ avoided him. I don't think they wanted to fight that fight. And they talk about, Wilder said that he was offered more money. Listen, man, that's very complicated stuff. They wanted Wilder to sign a 3-fight deal and to leave the only promoter that he ever knew, even though that they had that Fury fight on the table and they knew that was likely going to be a trilogy and big money involved. They wanted him to come over there to a different promotion and fight Dylan White and who knows who else. They could have jobbed him. It's not as simple as well, they offered him this and he didn't take it. It's far more complicated than that. But now we're never going to know. So to me, it's on par with Lewis and Bo. Maybe not quite as significant as what that fight may have been, but those two should have fought, and they didn't. And now we're never going to know. And it's too late now to find out because Wilder is washed up.
That's
AJ, I don't care who he fights. Dubois, Zhang, he's vulnerable. He may win or he may get knocked the fuck out because he's a vulnerable dude.
All right, there you
Say
go.
what?
Nothing, Jerry. Go ahead.
Well, there you
All
go.
right, Jerry, we're going to get rolling, man. Thank you so much for the non-call. I like what I like. That's right. I like what I like. You're 100% right. Edward Torres said, Eric really don't know boxing. You know what Eric does know how to do, though? He knows how to spell Reqlly. Does not spell really. It's Really. And typically when you write something, you got to take the caps lock off. Otherwise, it sounds like you're screaming. Beeb, is that correct? I
agree. That's a lot of emotion.
I agree. A lot of emotion. Wow.
It's really not that serious.
No, not at all. Not even a little bit. All right. Before we go back to the phones here, upcoming fights. Beeb, I cannot wait for this fight right here. The main man. Adrian Bronner. Both of these guys, this is tough because both of these guys are friends of the show, Beeb. Fort
Yeah.
Lauderdale. This is on pay-per-view, isn't it?
One of them's a friend of the show for you, on your part, not mine.
Wow. You don't like Blair Cobbs, huh?
I love Blair Cobbs. I'm not a big fan
Huh?
of Adrian Bronner. I don't like Adrian Bronner that much.
How dare you?
Sorry.
Let me tell you what. Blair Cobbs, Adrian Bronner, Fort Lauderdale, June 7th. I believe this is a King Vision pay-per-view. How about that? It's a pay-per-view. How about that? This is a pay-per-view.
Are you buying it?
No, I'm not buying it. Oh, look, Edward Torres. Edward Torres. He's still on the caps lock. He's still got it. He's still got the caps lock going.
He fixed his spell check. He fixed his spell check.
Oh, he doesn't know anything about boxing.
Disrespect Eric like that. We didn't deserve that.
What I do? I did what I do.
Does a lot for the show, man. We need him.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He's irreplaceable.
Right? Come on. Blair Cobbs, Adrian Bronner, who do you like in this? I like Blair Cobbs, man.
I like Blair Cobbs.
AB's doing this for a payday, man.
Yeah,
he's done. He needs
the money.
Yeah. Blair Cobbs is a little bit older, but I tell you what, I think Blair Cobbs for sure been busier.
I think he's a harder puncher at this stage. I think he's sharper.
Yeah, yeah. Did you see
the puppet? Yeah.
The puppet is the greatest. This has got to be the greatest. If I can get that puppet on the show, it would be amazing. The AB puppet, the Adrian Bronner puppet. Blair Cobbs is now taking around this puppet. I think he calls him Scout. And it looks like AB. It looks like a mini AB puppet. And he's been clowning him with it the whole time.
I want to get Blair Cobbs back on the show, man. I like that too. Man.
Yeah, we can get him back on.
Yeah, we get him back on. Good.
He's a friend of the show.
Friend of the show. It's hilarious.
Loves it. June 8th in New York on ESPN. Xander Zayas versus Patrick Teixeira. 10 rounds, junior middleweights. Xander Zayas should be bigger than what he is. They should be making more of a big deal about this guy than they are. They really should be hyping this kid.
I agree.
This kid, he looks like De La Hoya or something like that. He's got those, he looks like a model. Yep. He could be mainstreaming everywhere right now. I mean, they really need to start putting something behind this kid because he's good and he can fight. He's very good.
I like him.
Do you see anything there that would, you know what I mean? He looks like he's the goods. I mean, I don't know.
There's no red flags to me. No, not at all. It gets better with every fight. Looks more confident. Seems to be more fluid. It seems sharper and sharper every time out. So I don't have a problem with anything I see so far.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the main event on ESPN Plus for June 8th. Not a whole lot of star power on that card. Bruce Carrington versus Enrique Vivas on the undercard. Delonte Johnson versus Tariq Zaina. 8 rounds junior welterweights. So not a whole lot of star power, but that's okay, man. That Xander Zayas fight is really good. Most entertaining man in boxing versus the lowest output boxer. Yeah, I agree. Unless Adrian can throw punches, he's not winning that fight. I don't think there's any question about that. And I'll be honest, man, he's not throwing a lot of punches back then. So HLD says Xander Zayas needs no hype. His day will come in due time. 21 years old. You're definitely right, man. He's got something there. He really does. He's got that X factor. He does. So there you go. Let's see here. What else we got? Let's go to the news and rumors here. So this is beautiful. Usyk Fury to take place. It's already been signed for December 21st. Beeb, you know how I feel about rematches? You like the rematch, though.
I like the rematch a lot.
Do you think that Fury has a better chance in that second fight? Or do you think it's he's on the skid?
I'm going to just be objective here because everyone thinks I'm biased. I get yelled at all the time for being biased.
So biased.
When I talk about Fury, people just, for whatever reason, they just get fired up. And there's so much, there's just so much animus for this guy. So I just got to be honest. All I have to say is this. Can you envision a scenario where that 9th round doesn't happen in the rematch? Because without that 9th round, he was in control of that fight, right? In my opinion, he was up on the cards before that 9th round, right? You had him up 5-2 after 7.
Yeah.
Right. So you had him up 5-3 after 8. And then that,
and then he just the last 4 rounds. I had 3 of the last 4 rounds went to Usyk.
Okay, but what I'm saying is in the ninth round, he had a good round up until the time he got hit with that shot. Now I'm not saying that was a lucky shot. Usyk landed it, full credit, whatever. But in my opinion, he landed the perfect shot in the perfect place at the perfect time. Fury's legs went out. Took him 2 rounds a round and a half to recover. I thought he came back and he won the 12th. I'm going to clarify my point.
You did? Yes, you did.
No.
Yes, you did.
Can I clarify?
Yes, you did. No, you cannot. No, because you already clarified your point. There's no reason to double down on it. No.
This is what I said.
Done.
This is what I said. I said I can see it. I can see Fury beating Ali. Obviously, Ali's resume and accomplishments are far greater than Fury's. So he does not rank above Ali. What I had said was I believe Fury could beat any heavyweight in any era. That was my statement. You want to take it out of context? I can get Lois to give you the transcript of all the times I've talked about this and said this. It's on video.
That's what we're going to have to do.
It's on video. You can't rank Fury above Ali. You can't really rank any current heavyweight above Ali right now, given the competition Ali fought and what he did in his time frame. He fought in one of the toughest eras in the heavyweight division. So that's it. So again, I see some things Fury could do better. And I'll also say this. I don't want to make it too long. I'll make it as brief as possible. Usyk, I said, fights one way, but there's a lot of different adjustments he makes in that one style. So he has that one style, but he makes adjustments within that one style
throughout the fight.
Changes levels, changes the trajectory of how he throws his punches. But he is an in and out ambush mid-range fighter with a lot of nuance to that. Fury can fight an entirely different style on every given day. Fury's the guy that's going to look at his performance and say, I need to change this, this, and this because he lost. Usyk's not going to change much because he won, right? So a couple things Fury did.
Depends.
Right? True. A couple things Fury did was I thought he maybe was getting a little bit complacent, not because he was underestimating Usyk, but maybe he thought he was more in control of the fight than he actually was. Did not anticipate Usyk being able to come back like that. When Usyk would come, Usyk jumped in and then he'd get hit with a body shot or a hard jab or whatever, or a hard uppercut, and he'd take that step back out to reset, took that big breath. So when the ambush guy comes to you, you take the step back, you walk him into the shot. But when he goes back out to reset, you follow him. I think if Fury kind of took a step forward when Usyk was trying to reset, hit him with something on the way out, could actually break up the rhythm and delay that reset. That's one thing he could have done. Another thing he could have done was you see guys like Ali, and you see guys like Foreman, even like Lennox Lewis did this. They would post their opponent with the lead hand, and they would open their hand up and kind of put it on the top of their head. To get guys who like to move like this, you extend it, you put the lead hand out there. Ali did it to Frazier a lot. Foreman did it to Frazier a lot, right? Where he kind of posts him with the lead hand. I think if Fury posts Usyk with the lead hand a little bit, he can kind of prevent a little bit of the movement, kind of prevent the level changes, right? Then he can let that thing go up. And then generally when you're pushing down on someone, you let it up. Their instinct is to pop back up. Then you can hit him with the overhand right coming up. So there's a couple little things Fury can do in this rematch. There's a path to victory here for Fury. A lot of people disagree with it. My brother's laughing at me right now because he hates Fury. He thinks Usyk's going to destroy him in the rematch. But
because we've already seen that, right?
It was a razor close fight, man.
Really? Was it? Could you make a case for Tyson Fury winning that fight?
I thought he lost by a point.
Could you make an argument that he won that fight?
I can't.
There you go. There you go. That's all I'm trying to say.
Did Frazier beat Ali the first time they fought?
Yes.
And he beat him pretty thoroughly and consistently. And if you just watched that fight and you heard the rematch was happening, how would you assess that?
I wouldn't want to see it.
No, but who would obviously more people would be like, because of how
Frazier.
Yeah, right.
Right.
So again, I do think fighters like Fury, who have multiple ways to win fights. I'm not saying Usyk, isn't a great fighter, but again, I don't think Usyk's going to change much. I can see Fury like going it like he did in the Wilder fight. First Wilder fight, he fought one way, and in the second Wilder fight, he fought an entirely different style. I could see him, implementing some of the stuff from the second fight, along with what he did in the first fight here. Some of the second stuff from the Wilder fight, along with what he did in the first fight here. I could see him implementing that. I could see Fury doing different things. I think there's a path to victory here for Fury, in my opinion.
Stop it.
It's got to be honest.
Stop. And slippage. Hold on. Okay, you don't see any slippage in Fury. You for real don't see any slippage.
I thought he looked good in that fight.
You don't see any slippage in Fury.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it in that fight. No.
Stop it.
I mean, let me rephrase that. Is Fury the same fighter he was? The same? Is he the same?
It's slippage. Yeah, it's slippage.
Is he the same that fought Klitschko? No. So is there slippage? Of course, it's like everyone has slippage when they get older. Like Canelo has slippage. You can even argue Usyk has some slippage from when he fought. Is Usyk the same fighter he was 5 years ago? No one really is.
Could argue that he's better since he's the heavyweight champion now.
I mean, you can make that argument, but does
best heavyweight in modern era?
Does anyone ever really get better with age?
Yes, of course. When you're 17, if you're fighting at 17 versus fighting at 24, were you better in the amateurs than you are at the pro? Of course.
Well, let me ask you this: is anyone? You take a 28. Will you take a 28? You take a 28-year-old version of somebody, and you match them up with the 38 version of that same guy. Who's better?
It depends. What are we matching up on?
Not chess. I'm talking about boxing.
I'm just saying, what are we matching them on? R. Conyer says, how much are they charging for that pay-per-view? I'm assuming he means the Blair Cobbs, Adrian Bronner pay-per-view. Whatever it is, don't pay it. All right, because it's too much. I think it's probably like $40. I really think it's like $40.
Because you're pressing me so hard right now, we're going to do a pie bet on the rematch. Taking Fury.
I'm taking Usyk, and I'll win again.
So I guess there is a natural slippage, but I don't think it's substantial.
Yeah. Ngannou. I'm just saying.
You and my brother hate Fury.
I love Fury. You know I love Fury.
You hate Fury.
But I know when slippage happens. I can spot it.
Okay.
We saw slippage last night. Wilder.
We don't hate him. We just don't love him. You don't want to go on a date with him like Zhilei.
He goes.
Dave's gonna give Fury a massage later.
I mean,
are you gonna rub his feet, dude? What if Fury came up to you? If Fury asked you to rub his feet, would you?
Absolutely not.
Liar.
I would never.
All right. Let's talk about Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson had a medical issue mid-flight. All right. They had to land the plane, or they landed the plane. Now, as a result, the fight with Jake Paul has now been postponed. Apparently, they said Tyson had some kind of stomach ulcers, or they were acting up, or something like that. I don't know. But listen, the guy's 58. The guy's 58. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Tim Tszyu, Virgil Ortiz, as we said earlier, is off. That cut reopened in practice. So, they're not giving that team. Yeah, he's going to, that fight is off. Now, with that, Virgil Ortiz has called out Ryan Garcia August 3rd. B, do you think that fight comes off?
Absolutely not.
I don't either. I don't think that fight comes off. Turki Al-Sheikh, as I said earlier, was working on Canelo versus Crawford. Hate to say I told you so, but I told you so.
Do you think Canelo will have another fight in between, or do you think he'll wait for after the August 3rd fight for Crawford? So if Crawford beats Madrimov on August 3rd, do you think they'll put a fight together for maybe December or early next year? Or do you think Canelo will have a fight in between?
You know what he's going to fight? He's going to fight Berlanga next.
Well, to be honest with you, I wanted to disagree with you before, but now that Turki Al-Sheikh, I know I got to.
Yeah. I
can't disagree with you anymore on this because the way it's being mapped out right now, and once Turki Al-Sheikh gets involved and the suitcase of money gets dropped on your lap,
love it.
There's nothing changing. So you're right. I have to give it to you, man.
Turkey a la Sheik, baby. Friend of the show. He doesn't even have to appear. He's just a friend of the show now. Alhamdulillah. I think I'm saying that right.
You
I
are.
may not be.
Alhamdulillah, man. Alhamdulillah.
I love Turkey a la Sheik, man. All right, guys, that'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Joe Habib on X. I can never get used to it. I can never get used to it as being
well.
X.
He's actually entertaining the thought. Elon Musk put out a poll. Do you think I should change it back to Twitter, or do you like X better?
He's a complete moron. You know what he ought to do is concentrate on those cyber trucks that everything got recalled.
I know. This fucking Tesla stock is going to shit.
What did you hear? Well, I told you about the Tesla, didn't I? That
well,
it's
you did.
$2,000.
Yeah, you did say about that. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, $2,000. Every Tesla you see out there is a minimum $2,000 insurance
That's ridiculous.
a year.
Yeah,
that's not total. That's $2,000 just for that car.
No, you told me that. It's not
ridiculous, man.
No, I would never buy. I would never buy. I don't care how much fucking money I
way,
would never. And let me ask you this, Eric. Do you
I was
want
at
to
the table, son. I was at the table talking about.
But let me ask you this: would you want to stop every fucking 10 minutes to try to find a fucking place to refuel your fucking vehicle? Like what are you gonna do?
You know what? But it works. I'll tell you what. Lisa's
Explain it
got
to me.
one.
Explain it to me.
Lisa's got a fully electric car. She's got
she does.
A Toyota
she does.
BZ4X. Yeah, it's
Oh
fully
wow,
electric.
I didn't know that. Okay, so help me out here.
And it works great for her because she travels to school and back. We got a charger at the house. It's perfect for her. Now, can you go on long trips? Yes and no. You can, but it'd be a pain to find a charger and everything like that.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
We do have I've got a Honda, so mine's like a hybrid, so it does both. But for long trips and stuff, but for local commutes, if you're buying it, if you have just one car like that for local commutes, it's perfect. It's perfect.
Okay, fair enough.
They are really good.
Fair enough.
So there you go. All right, guys. At jhabib1, find him on X, our YouTube channel, ringsidereporterlive.com. And you can find me on X at ringside73. Guys, we will catch you next week. Give me 2 seconds. All right, and we are out. Yeah, they still don't.
They still do that. So I seriously was talking to Robbie on the phone, and Mrs. Herrick was there.